Operational control evaporates when verified EHS leading indicators are treated as administrative bloat rather than uptime engines. This classic trap poisons your asset reliability and paralyzes efficiency. Most operations are currently in go shutdown and they don't even know it. There is a connection between operational control and the data that's been lying to you, and we are talking about it today. See, I've spent 23 years helping operations improve EHS strategy. I've seen the inside of more industrial facilities than most see in a lifetime, and the pattern is always the same. Organizations think they're invincible up until the moment that their data lies to them. If you're sitting at your company's home office looking at a dashboard that hasn't been verified by a grounded, frictionless expert system, then you aren't managing a company. You're presiding over a crime scene that hasn't happened yet. Complacency is the root cause of every failure. It's a form of operational violence against your own margin. When you rely on lagging indicators alone, things that have already happened, you're driving a high speed vehicle by only looking in the rearview mirror. The cost of ignoring the missing data in your facility is not just a fine. It's the total collapse of predictability. The missing component here is a core risk metric derived from your floor data. We are fixing the inputs for future profit. This isn't a suggestion, it's a command for survival. Speaking of survival, it's paramount that you know exactly where money is leaking from your bottom line due to reactive EHS practices. I've developed the hidden margin leakage scorecard to do just that. Grab yours via the link in the description. Now, one of my most deeply held beliefs is that compliance is the most dangerous word in the executive vocabulary. Most of you treat it as a checkbox. You see a report that says 100% training completion and you feel safe. Compliance is a sedative. It makes you feel safe when your uptime is actually being dismantled. Safety is not the absence of accidents, it's the presence of capacity. If you cannot verify that your training translated into specific repeatable behaviors on the floor, then that data point is a lie. Real operational control requires verified EHS leading indicators. If these indicators aren't being fed into your decision making processes at the top, then you are blind. You're allowing middle management to hide the truth from you until it becomes too expensive to fix. This isn't just unfortunate, it's financial theft. Every day you operate without verified data, you're stealing your future uptime. You are being sloppy. Most leaders think that they have a safety problem when they actually have a data integrity problem. You're managing fiction right now. Complacency thrives in the gap between the spreadsheet and the shop floor. If you aren't bridging that gap with a grounded system, you aren't leading. You're guessing. And in high stakes operations, guessing is a form of financial suicide. The data on your desk must be a reflection of your physical reality, not an administrative hope. When you treat operational control as a paper exercise, you invite chaos into your maintenance schedules and your production flow. The truth is, most operations are in what I'd like to call ghost shutdown right now because their leading indicators are actually lagging excuses. You don't need more programs, you need the truth. Uptime is a product of honesty. If your workers are lying to your software just to hit their production numbers, then you've already lost control. You just haven't received the bill for the disaster yet. My conviction that your operational control is a myth isn't a theory. It's born from my 9 years spent as the primary number cruncher of EHS data. When you spend nearly a decade identifying trends and validating success indicators, you develop a visceral reaction to sloppy data. You learn exactly what it looks like when a facility is faking its way toward a catastrophe. I've seen the disconnect between the office data and the floor reality, and it's been wide enough to torpedo true profit growth. That's why I am dead serious about verified EHS leading indicators. You cannot command what you don't verify. And you don't want to be the executive who thinks you're in control until that investigation reveals that your supervisor fabricated data because they were under pressure. Because in that moment, you will learn the meaning of go shutdown, but it may be too late for you. If you aren't targeting a Six Sigma level of integrity around your leading indicators, then you're blind. And that's a choice that you're making. And in this market, that's an expensive one. The most expensive waste that I see is the time managing unverified data. If your data isn't grounded, it's a fiction that will eventually lead to the total collapse of your reliability. You're sacrificing your uptime on the altar of complacency. The math on the desk often hides the danger that's out there on your floor. High stake operations require high fidelity information. You wouldn't run a financial audit on guesses. So, why are you running your operational EHS that way? It's the same margin that's at risk. I've looked at the data from hundreds of facilities, and the ones with the highest operational control always have the simplest, most grounded verification systems. They don't hide behind complexity, they reveal through clarity. Your data should be a weapon, not a weight. If it's not giving you a clear path to action, it's just noise. But that noise annihilates true operational control. The common wisdom says that you need more software, but you don't. You need more accountability. You need to stop accepting the unverified fiction and start demanding the truth from on the ground. Here's some counterintuitive candor. Digital systems often do not increase your EHS performance and operational control. When you flood your workers with complex, high friction software, they will lie to you or simply not report in order to protect their time. Moreover, you're often locked into a subscription with features that your staff doesn't need and they barely access. This is why I advocate for grounded, simple systems that you can scale as you go. If the tool is too hard to use, then your data is already compromised. Sloppy systems lead to a distorted reality. Verified EHS leading indicators require low friction inputs. Operational control is only possible when the person on the floor can tell the truth quickly and efficiently. I have administered multi-million dollar EHS management system implementations, and the biggest failure point is always the same: over engineering. If you're forcing your team to navigate a 20-click menu, then you're choosing ignorance. It adds up to catastrophic failure of operational control. You're letting your bottom line wither on the vine because you're too busy with administrative bloat to verify the truth. Margin sabotage starts with small inaccuracies, a missed inspection here, a skipped calibration there. If your EHS data isn't saving you money, then you're doing it completely wrong. It should be the ultimate signal for machine health and operator discipline. If you ignore it, then you are executing a slow motion takedown of your facility's uptime. The best EHS technology is a culture where it's easier to report a hazard than to deal with the consequences of not reporting. Most of you have built the exact opposite. You've built a system that discourages honesty by rewarding pencil whipping and non reporting through your apathy. Think about your current operational control. Is it a wall of text or is it a clear signal? If your team is spending more time on the report than the task, then you've already lost the battle for efficiency. You're paying for clarity, but what you're receiving is clutter. And that clutter is hiding the very risks that bring ghost shutdowns to life. The ones who succeed are the ones who realize that EHS is the ultimate proxy for operational excellence. If a facility is messy and the EHS data is vague, I guarantee that the maintenance is lagging. You can't have one without the other. To command your market, you must command your data. This is about uptime and efficiency. Every minute of unplanned downtime is a failure of your operational control systems. It's a failure of leadership. Real operational control means moving from a reactive posture to a command posture. This means demanding that your reporting efforts result in timely, accurate, and complete data. Stop delegating your EHS responsibility to someone who has no authority to take real action. EHS strategy is CEO strategy. And if you don't believe that, wait until EPA or OSHA shows up and starts asking you questions that you can't answer with verified data. At that point, your go shutdown status is revealed and your operational control is proven to be a lie. This isn't about being nice, it's about survival. I've seen businesses identify millions of dollars in potential fines and waste simply because their data finally caught up with reality. But by that time, the margin was gone. Inconsistent, incomplete, inaccurate data, it doesn't just invite a fine. It provides the roadmap for an agency to dismantle your operation's entire credibility. Act like a strategist. Command the data, or the data will command your downfall. Look at your current reporting structure. Is it designed to find the truth, or is it designed to make you feel comfortable? If it's the latter, then you're already in the trap. Leaders commit an act of violence against their operations when they accept the office instead of the floor version of the truth. You must go deeper. You must verify. You must be the one who knows the numbers before they reach the boardroom. Uptime is not a gift. It's the result of operational control. If you want resilience, then you must build it on a bedrock of verified EHS leading indicators. Anything less is just waiting for disaster to strike. You're standing at a crossroads. One path leads to systemic reliability. The other one leads to a 5 a.m. phone call that changes your life for the worse. Choose the data. Choose the truth. Complacency is not an oversight. It's a fundamental betrayal of your fiduciary duty. If you ignore the link between operational control and verified EHS leading indicators, you're being reckless. Business resilience is won through systems, not one-off fixes. Every minute that you wait to verify your floor data, you're gambling with your uptime and you're undermining your shareholders. Stop undermining and start stabilizing. Download the Hidden Margin Leakage Scorecard now. It's the first step to move you from the victim of your data to the commander of your operations. But even with verified data, a surprise inspection can send a shock wave through your operation. Most businesses fail before the inspector even walks in. You need to know how your site conditions and your team will portray your company prior to any inspection, planned or not. I reveal how to bulletproof your facility in the video on your screen. Watch it now to avoid inspection nightmares at your facility. Your margin depends on it.